My name's Zenab Ali and I am the Day Hospice Manager, and I'm also a nurse, registered nurse.
Now, Zainab, we've been here all day, met a load of wonderful people, come down here to the Day Hospice, and I think this place is brilliant because it somewhat confounds those stereotypes that people have of a hospice, that it's all about being flat, in bed and unwell. I'm seeing a lot of life in here, as I have throughout the whole hospice actually. Tell me what it is that you value so much about Day Hospice.
So I don't think there's anything out in the community like this, which is a social group for patients who are palliative care patients who have got a prognosis of less than 12 months. We take patients who have got cancer diagnosis, patients who've got lung conditions, breathlessness, heart failure, renal failure, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, mild dementia. And for us, it's a gentle introduction to the hospice, because I think there's a taboo about, hospices being a place where patients are really unwell. Once they come in here, they don't leave. But we've come a long, long way from this. Patients come in. We offer 12 sessions here in Day Hospice. So we have patients that come in once a week on a Tuesday, Wednesday or a Thursday for 12 sessions. And it's an opportunity for them to come in, engage with other patients, which could be like arts and crafts, access to services that we provide here, complementary therapy, access some physiotherapy, see social workers, have some benefits checked out. So it's a lot of things for them to do, all catered within the one day that they're here. And the fantastic thing about it is that we offer transport as well. So we've got two drivers that go out and pick patients up in the morning, and then they get dropped off. So they spend the day with us. So they arrive here from around 10:30 and stay till 3 o'clock, and lunch is provided as well, with endless teas and coffees and biscuits.
Sounds ideal. Where can we sign up? And, without going down the route of miracle cures and other things, I think it's probably fair to say, however, that this improves people's outlook, doesn't it? I've seen a lot of people here that have actually really warmed to it and look like they're getting lots out of it, and it's got to make for a better life, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the difficulty and challenging things are when they've seen an oncologist and they're informed that, unfortunately the illness is palliative, there isn't anything that can be done now. A lot of patients hear that and get deflated. It's like clock watching, trying to figure out, how long a person has, which nobody knows, in fact, and by them coming over here, engaging with other patients who are in similar conditions to them, and giving them that quality of life, however long they've got. We have laughters here. We're aware that, patients can come in feeling quite sad, with other things going on in the background. A lot of patients don't have family members. They live alone. They don't see anybody. They don't talk to anybody. An opportunity for them to come in here, socialise with other patients. A lot of the times patients come in quite sad, they're in a lot of pain, anxiety, it's the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. And then they come in and spend a couple of hours in here with us. We're like a little family, and then they go home with a smile, a big smile on their face, and that kind of gives me a pride that, it's a job well done.
And it's amazing, isn't it? Because the ladies I've been lucky enough to talk to have got so much to give. They're so interesting. It's so nice to sit down and talk, to be quite honest. And that's something that's obviously encouraged here, isn't it? That sense of community.
Yeah. So obviously doing my training in hospitals while I was qualifying, it's so short-staffed. It's kind of, all about tick boxing, doing the personal hygiene, giving medications out. And over here, the emphasis is looking at patients holistically, their physical, mental, social well-being, and there's no time frame. So, it doesn't matter if an assessment takes, half an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. but it's getting to know a patient, you know, a whole patient. You know, I spend a lot of time with patients talking. I'd like to know about previously what they did, you know, where they come from. So my assessments do tend to take a lot longer than usual, and then I'll get the girls knocking on the door saying, you know, time's up, time's up. But this is what I like, that there's no time frame, there's no rushing around, nobody's interfering, and it gives the patient also the comfort to know that, you know what, they actually do care about me, you know, they're actually listening to me, they want to know, which is amazing.
And we don't need to go down the route of how long you've been working here. I know it's a while, and I've spoken to a lot of people that have been working here a long while. And what that can only tell me is that this is almost more than a job, actually. Do you get that feeling? Does it feel like more than a job?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned family before. We are like a one big family, you know. Everybody, patients over here are like friends outside of the day hospice as well. So sometimes they'll exchange numbers. You know, patients who are a bit more well enough might actually meet up for teas and coffees outside. They might check up on each other by calling them up and seeing how, you know, they're doing. If there's an appointment or something that they're worried about, they might just give them a bit of comfort on the phone. But our team is great up here. We get on really well. The patients enjoy our company. We love our patients. So it's great.
And so what would be those key components for you for good care? Whether, you know, day hospice certainly, but all round as a nurse as well. What does good care look like as far as you're concerned?
I think communication is vital. I think communication is really important. Compassion, empathy, you know, putting yourself in that patient's shoe, as one would say, and just listening to them and hearing what it is that they want from coming over here as well. We've had patients that are really afraid of the word hospice, and I always tend to say to them that, you know what, give yourself a few sessions at least. Sometimes, you know, one session is not enough because obviously you're new. You know, majority of the patients know each other, so they've built that relationship. It takes a while to build a relationship. So give it at least 2 to 3 sessions, and then see if it's not for you, then that's fine. No one's going to force you. I think the key here is that nobody's forced to do anything that they don't want to do. We've had patients that come in here, they just sit up here looking out of the window, reading a newspaper, having endless cups of tea, and that's absolutely fine. Other patients want to engage in other services that we provide, talking to other patients, you know, having complementary therapy, doing a bit of physio, and that's absolutely fine as well. But one thing for sure, when they come in for 12 sessions, they never want to leave.
I'm sure they want to double that up, don't they?
They do. They get really sad and upset because there isn't anything out there that kind of meets the services that we provide. You know, majority of the social groups that are out in the community, you've got to make your own way to those, and a lot of our patients aren't able to do that because they're housebound. So yeah, they can't wait to come back.
So I'm going to ask you the final question that I asked the ladies, which was, for those that might be a bit reticent, for those reasons you mentioned, the stereotypes, the feelings about what a hospice is and what it stands for, what would you say to those men and women that might be thinking, oh, that sounds great, I'd love to, but I'm still a bit reticent?
So I always say to patients, you know, I love to offer trial runs, so trial day. Come in for the day, even if it's for an hour, half an hour, come and sit down, have a chat with us. When you put a name to a face, you know, you see where you're going to be at. We invite family members to come as well with patients on their first visit. So the patients feel comforted and secure, and the family members think, you know what, my loved one's going to be cared for. This is the environment they're going to be in. This is the name, this is the person that we spoke to, this is the person that's going to be caring for my loved one, which kind of shows reassurance. So I think for me, yeah, spending half an hour to a full day with us, asking questions, any doubts that you may have, just asking us, you know, and we can hopefully reassure them and comfort them and say it's not as bad as what it sounds like. And you haven't heard our karaoke's yet, because once the mic comes out and I start singing,
you join in.
I'm the leader, unfortunately. They say I can't sing, but if it puts a smile on someone's face, you know, a patient's face, I'm happy with that.
Zenab, fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.